So one more question I have for you. So you and I, we've been in relationships or whatever. We've had good sex, bad sex, you know. So here's the question. Can good sex save a struggling relationship?
No, but people try to make it save it, but no, it'll never. It'll keep you there longer than you should be, but no, there's no way it can save it. I do
Yeah.
think it can help a relationship that's struggling. I do think that's one of the tools that can help a relationship that's struggling. But a bad relationship where like nothing else can happen, there's nothing else there outside of sex, it will never save it.
I see where you're going with that because I feel so whenever I talk to somebody who's been married, because I had the question posed to me when I was married, and they asked, when's the last time y'all had sex? And it had been a minute. Like we never went like a whole year without sex, but I think before like, when we like agreed to separate and all that stuff, right? I'm talking about before then. We might have been maybe 2 or 3 months without having sex. And, when the person asked me that question, it was like, that's a problem because y'all are not maintaining that connection. Like you need sex to maintain that connection. I think I talked about on the show before. I was watching one of those TV One Black Love shows, and this lady was talking about how like she has it in her calendar. Like, hey, we need to have sex at least twice a week. And if we busy with the kids and around the house, and it comes up on her calendar, and she was like, "Oh shit, we ain't had sex." She said, "I'm gonna go get him. We're gonna go in the room and we're gonna knock it out because it maintains that connection." So I can
Mm.
see what you're saying in terms of like why it's important, but I don't think it could fix a relationship though.
Yeah, no, it can't. It can't fix it, but yeah, I do think it's necessary, but it can't fix it.
Dario said no, but let's try. Okay. Darren said can't fix it, but it can prolong it. I agree. And Shawnee says, nope, it could put a band-aid on a gaping wound to give you a false sense of comfort. It does nothing to solve the issue. I had a friend and she was telling me about like her and her ex-husband. By the time I met her, they'd been divorced. But she was like, up until they actually signed the paperwork, they were still having sex.
Hmm.
Like she was like, we didn't even have to be talking. Like we didn't even have to be getting along. We was giving each other the cold shoulder all day. But if he wanted it, I was gonna give it to him, and vice versa. And that shit is just so crazy to me because maybe it's because I'm a Pisces, but if
Hmm.
I ain't fucking like I told you, look, listen, I ain't got no problem going jack my shit off and going to sleep. So like you can't use sex to control me. You
Hmm.
can't use sex to like schmooze me over, whatever. Now I need some accountability and like a nice resolution to some shit. So I already know the answer to this, but can you have sex when you mad at your partner
Yes,
and still be mad afterwards?
yes.
How?
Because again, the sex doesn't solve the problem. The problem is still gonna be there once the sex is over. But I like sex, so I still want it. So yes, I can. Yes, I can do that. I can compartmentalize. I can separate the two.
So you can actually have sex with somebody. Is it good sex? Like y'all doing all the things or y'all just going through the motions?
No, it's got to be good sex. I wouldn't. You know me. I'm not gonna be with somebody
No,
if
but
the sex is not good.
but there are times when like there's times where you go all out, right? And there's
Hmm.
times where like, okay, we kind of just going through the motions because we gotta, get some shit out our system. Is it y'all?
That's still gonna be good to me. If the person knows what they're doing. I don't see. I mean, I know there are times when it may not last as long as other times, but the sex itself is still good.
I guess what I'm asking is, are y'all going all out or y'all just going through the motions?
Depends. Depends on the day. I don't.
And then
Depends
you
on
go
what's
right,
needed.
And then you go right back to being like upset and not speaking.
I may not be as upset, but again, the issue didn't go away just because we had sex. So the issue still needs to be worked out. Whatever made us mad at each other, that still has to be worked out.
I don't know.
Speaking of what you said earlier, it brought this to my memory. I have a friend, and her and her husband joke all the time that if they get a divorce, their partner's just gonna have to understand that once a month they gotta they gotta have sex with each other. That's how much they like having sex with each other. But it's
Damn,
a joke. I hope it's a joke, but that's what they say.
damn. That's wild. Stacy said, fix, no, but great sex can extend a bad relationship. It'll never fix it. Joe said, no, all it does is extend the inevitable. Nitria says, no, it just makes you stick around a little longer than necessary. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I get it. Um, I've had great sex with partners. I had amazing sex with some partners, but like, this white boy told me this a long time ago. And he was a prophet when he said this. He said, "Hey man, let me tell you something. For every fine woman in this world, there is a man somewhere that is sick of her shit.
Yeah.
And it don't matter how amazing the sex is. If I can't stand you in the gaps in between, nah, baby, it ain't gonna work."
Yeah, I agree with that. Sex for me, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I can compartmentalize. Sex doesn't control my emotions. So I can I can be mad at you and have sex. We can meet, no, not meet. We can get to know each other and on the first date have sex. And I can still get to know you outside of that because sex doesn't have that emotional tie for me. And when it comes to a bad relationship, sex won't keep me there.
You,
Like people are saying. That's just me though.
you're gonna have a whole bunch of dudes emailing the email because she says you like to fuck on the first date.
That's after getting to know people though. I'm not just out here like just meeting people and having sex though. That's not happening.